Every morning, the young Popeye feeds the chickens and pigs, gather firewood, and remove weeds from the garden. He loved feeding the animals because they make loud noises when he comes, but he hated gathering firewood and removing weeds because there were a lot of ants that bit him. Nevertheless, Popeye did his chores well, because if he didn't, Itay would not allow him to go to the mango tree just in time to see the sun shine through the leaves. Popeye would often think that the morning light allowed him to bathe in the glorious warmth without feeling pain from the heat. Every morning after breakfast, the eldest son of the Gobernador General, Lucas Nathaniel, needed to read 10 pages from his papa's thick history book. The book was about the travels of Napoleon Bonaparte. According to Lucas, he didn't like the man, but he needed to read the book very fast so that he could very quietly tiptoe from his room down to the stairs, and very slowly, he would open the door and run out of it. His father was busy in the library, while his mother would be teaching his younger sister how to pray the rosary. By the time Lucas arrives at the mango tree, he would be bathing under the sun's glorious warmth. Every time Popeye stands atop the mango tree, he felt like the king. He heard from his friends that Napoleon Bonaparte, yes, that was it, was a king who owned many lands. Popeye's family doesn't own the land they've been living in. His friend Lucas does. Their family also owns the very big house over at the entrance of the hacienda. He has never been inside that house. It must be very nice. Popeye saw his friend Lucas running towards him. Popeye enthusiastically called out the name of Lucas. The Spaniard would only marvel at his friend's desire to be a king. He was different from Popeye. Lucas didn't want to be a king. Even his father was like one. The señor was the Gobernador General of the colony. The visitors who visited their house would bring their sons that were like Lucas, and they would call those who were like Popeye Indios. These people were called Indios because they have flat noses and dark skin. Despite the criticisms towards Indios, Lucas didn't care. Popeye is his friend, and he ran faster towards him. When Popeye saw Lucas, he called, "Lucas! Lucas!" There were differences with their build. Lucas was taller than Popeye and looked different, but Popeye sure was faster. When the boys would be climbing the trees, the mother of Popeye would call out to Lucas and plead the young master to be careful. Popeye wondered why, but then realized that maybe Lucas's mother doesn't tell him to be careful. Popeye thinks that his own mother was confident with his climbing skills. Lucas knew that Popeye was faster in running, but he was taller, which meant that he could climb the mango tree easier. Today, Lucas was going to tell Popeye that he was going to school tomorrow. His father told him the news last night. Innocently, Lucas asked if Popeye was also going to school with him, but his father didn't give him an answer. Instead, the Gobernador General asked who Popeye was. "Papa, Popeye is the son of one of the farmers," he said. Then his papa sent Lucas to his room. Later that night, Lucas could hear his papa screaming at his mama and saying that his mama wasn't taking good care of him. But that wasn't true. Popeye was happy that his friend was going to school starting tomorrow. At the same time, the boy was also jealous because according to his itay, only children like Lucas can go to school. Popeye was only confused at the reply, but he noticed that only tall kids with long noses and white skin who can read can go to school. Lucas saw how wide the smile of his friend was when he told Popeye the good news. Lucas told Popeye that he should meet him outside of school tomorrow so that maybe they can pass by the river. The children were planning to catch fish, but all of their catch would go to Popeye, of course, because Lucas's house had plenty of fish. The next day, Popeye excitedly woke up, but he realized that he wouldn't be playing with Lucas this morning because Lucas was going to school. So, Popeye did his chores slowly and patiently, looking forward for the afternoon to arrive. School was boring. This was the conclusion that Lucas Nathaniel arrived at. The students were introducing themselves and what their fathers did for a living. Since Lucas always saw his father in the library, he said that his father loved reading books. However, the teacher corrected that Lucas was the son of the Gobernador General and that the other students should be friendly towards him. By the end of the day, Lucas Nathaniel had new friends, Gabriel, Marco, and Simeon. Popoy's eyes widened when he saw that the school was even bigger than the house of Lucas. Popoy waited until he saw Lucas's figure moving towards him. The boy squinted and saw that there were other children who looked like Lucas. "Lucas's new friends are as tall as me," Popoy exclaimed. Lucas was asked by Gabriel, Mateo, and Simeon if he knew the Indio that was waving at him. The son of the Gobernador General replied that Popoy was his friend, to which his new friends passed as a joke. When the schoolboys were close to the school's exit, Lucas rushed to Popoy and introduced him to the other Spaniards. The three were appalled when Lucas asked Popoy to shake their hands. Gabriel punched Popoy in the face instead. Marco and Simeon were kicking Popoy and Lucas was too stunned to make a move. Popoy was lying on the ground. The boy felt the surge to punch the other boys who were attacking him, but his itay said that the Spaniards would not be hurt. So, Popoy headed towards his itay and let the taller children continue to kick and punch him. For the first time, Lucas raised his arm and curled his fingers to punch Marco. Lucas also kicked Simeon and Gabriel. There were punches and kicks thrown here and there, and then Marco pushed him and he hit his head on something hard. And then there was darkness. Lucas was not moving. There was blood all over the place. A Guardia Civil immediately came near them, and from what Popoy could understand, his friend was going to the hospital. Popoy and the schoolboys were escorted by the other Guardia Civil to the Gobernador General's house. By the time the four children arrived at the house, Popoy's itay was also there. Everyone involved was interrogated. The schoolboys said that Popoy followed Lucas to the school, and when they were about to leave, Popoy attacked Lucas. Popoy wanted to butt in and tell the Gobernador General that the other boys were lying. He would never hurt Lucas. The schoolboys were pinning what happened to Lucas on him. Popoy's itay was pleading and explaining that Popoy was not capable of such a thing. Even so, the Guardia Civil took Popoy away. Lucas Nathaniel stayed at the hospital for 10 days. By the time he was discharged, he immediately went to the mango tree that he and Popoy usually met at. Popoy must have missed me, Lucas Nathaniel thought. The excitement got too much and Lucas was feeling dizzy, but he didn't mind. Slowly, he walked towards the tree and he noticed something. There was freshly dug earth with a slab of stone underneath the tree. For a long time, Lucas only stared at the grave. He could not believe what was engraved on the stone. It read, "You will be missed.